this video got a different thumbnail backdrop because it ain't going to theaters. And I couldn't really call it anything that we normally use. It's not a retro review. It's not really a current critique. It's not anything that the normal movie stuff gets. So I called this a nostalgia special because, well, me and Brandon, we grew up on us loving some Power Rangers.
Yep.
And so this movie, to me, was, in my mind at least, is it's not made by us, but it's made for us.
Mm-hmm.
But it was made by people, Billy Cranston, David Yost specifically, who love the world of Power Rangers, and you could just feel it as the movie was playing. So before I roll that open, Brandon, what was your score for Power Rangers Once and Always?
4 out of 5.
So I give it a 7-star rating. Wait, no, 7 is perfection.
Mm-hmm.
I go above the rating system for this one. I give it the love rating. I got so emotional that I couldn't treat it. I couldn't criticize it accurately. So after the opening, we're going to talk about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. Before we talk about what is the episodes for, we got to talk about what the channel is for, and that is selling graphic novels. This is my 68-page graphic novel, Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, all day long. This is a Jeff Hicks cover. That is the Nick Crook cover. There are additionally 3 other covers. Here's Jeff's C cover in poster form, and that is February Ferdinand's E cover, also in poster form. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you'll be able to get one of any of these covers. The posters, obviously. There are t-shirts, there are hats, and there's also a homage cover by Nick Crook, paying homage to Batman. So thank you for helping me get the word out, Brandon, and thank you for coming to talk about this Netflix special of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. What did you think of Netflix's treatment of this classic property?
Oh, loved it. One, it's amazing because Oz pointed this out, and I noticed it too while watching it. But it's clean.
Oh my goodness! Like there was a point in time while I was watching, I thought, is it the TV or is it just that this thing is that good? Because I had watched the '93 version semi-recently, and it was not nearly as good. Obviously, it's from 1993, and so it didn't pop off the screen. So that gave away the secret that it isn't the TV that I wanted to accredit it the quality to. But man, these the people behind this production, they really put in the work to make this both look as though it fits with the original, but also it's that extra effort, if you will, where so at one point I notated, I said, if everything that is coming to Netflix has this quality, there's no way that I'm not gonna watch, because the level of production that they had in it, if that's how it is going forward, I'm all in for this. Because I had heard rumors that, and this mini movie, this whatever you want to call it, this special, felt like it was setting up, or potentially setting up, the ability to do one of the rumors I heard, which was a Power Rangers almost Back to the Future type show, where the adult versions have to go to the past to stop a villain, and if they're able to execute that, if they're still going to go that route, I would love to watch it because it means that they're going to be catering to the people who love the show to begin with, while also trying to introduce and bring in a new audience. And so I think that if they go that route, it'd be super cool. But if they don't, I totally understand that you might want to go with all new stories and all new characters. That's also a reasonable possibility. And the open of the movie, it really caught me from the beginning. So we don't know what the heroes are, what brought them back together early on. You know, they're all, 30 years later
Yes.
in the fight. And then, we see Trini die in this first fight. And it was crazy and unexpected. Now, granted, we as adults know that she, the actress that played the character of Trini had long since passed away. And anybody who checked on, I keep wanting to call him Billy, but David Yost's production, who kept up with him, knew that he was doing his best to keep her spirit alive within the franchise. And man, did he ever do that. Like, at one point I paused and I was like, isn't that Jason David Frank and Austin St. John voices? It was puzzling to me as to what was happening, because I knew that they weren't in the episode or the movie or the special.
Yeah, the special.
It's complicated trying to nail down what this is specifically. But then I talked to Brandon and he was like, oh, they used old audio, and I was like, well, they married it up real good, because I just appreciated it. I enjoyed it. I thought that it's hard for me to even explain the levels of appreciation I have for it.
Because so my background with Power Rangers, I was like consistent towards to it. I think the time that I like dropped off, but then like once in a while came back was Space. Power Rangers in Space. And then, periodically I'll watch Dino Thunder because I knew
that's the one where Jason David Frank was the mentor.
Correct.
Cool.
And I knew that he was in. I was like, okay, and then I watched it again, but RPD occasionally and things like that.
Oh, RPD is, what's the one where it's like post-apocalyptic and it has it only starts with red, yellow, and blue?
Oh yeah, what is that one?
The reason I ask is because the one of the characters grows up to be in a series that I like.
Okay.
And so it's the chick from iZombie is the blonde chick. Anyway, I didn't watch that one. I tried to pick it up as an adult, but as soon as I watched, I think 2 episodes, it fell off of Netflix, and so I was like, well, guess that wasn't meant to be. So no big deal, but so I actually left the series sooner than you did, because I stopped when Turbo began. I was Mighty Morphin, I was Alien Rangers, and I was Zeo. But when they went Turbo, I was out. I don't know if it was the kid or just I was doing too much stuff. Maybe a combination of the two. But yeah, I was out. I was out of Turbo.
Yeah. But I think what this special does, and it shows like people that care about like its fan base, or people from 30 years ago when we were kids. When did it drop? 1993.
Yeah, 93 is when the show began.
I was 3 years old, but yeah. And I remember watching the first episode and falling in love with it, and this felt like a thank you.
Oh, I was 8.
You were 8.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, depending on the time of year, but somewhere between 7 and 8.
Okay.
Type thing.
It just showed like an appreciation, like a thank you. That's how I felt while watching it. Like,
well, so what I felt was, so I didn't read the Power Rangers comic book, the modern series from Boom Studios, until Brandon recommended it. He said that it paid respect to all the stuff we liked while almost improving upon it. And and that's how I felt about this special, is that it was the live action version of the Boom Studios comic, where everything feels like it belongs, but it's also just a step up in presentation and quality. Because whereas with the original, there was a lot of rush to get to the big fight, and not as much focus on the character and the heart of the matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, obviously the comic, man, that's almost all heart, and a lot less of the fight. You know, you'll have fights, don't get me wrong, but it's the interplay between the characters is where the real focus is, and that's what this special does too. So as we already said, Trini sacrifices herself in the opening fight to save Billy and the team. And so Zach and Billy are in a conflict when they get back to, or get out of the fight. They're like, Zach wants to protect Trini's daughter from the truth, and Billy says no, she has to know what her mom did to give her that closure and full understanding of the magnitude of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that, again, is very more like the comic than it is the original series, because the original series was so often light. I mean, there were episodes that weren't light, like Green with Envy.
Yes.
Those were the heavy ones. Those were the good ones. Those were the ones everybody's like, yeah, that's a good quality right there. And so no, I just to me, and the thing that put this whole special over the top is my personal connection with Min, Trini's daughter. So throughout the whole special, she wants to do right by her mom. She wants to prove that the sacrifice wasn't for nothing. And every time that the characters are talking about her mom's passing, it hits hard. And then in the final sit down between Billy and Min, and she apologizes because early on she blames Billy for her mom being gone, but in that climactic scene in the juice bar, when Min forgives or asks Billy for forgiveness for her blaming him for her mom not being there, it made a tear roll down my face. I was like, I just miss my mom, and this show got me. And it was like, when me and Brandon were talking before we started recording, and he's like, oh, what do you give it? I was like, well, I can't give it anything less than a love, because of how much of it I can relate to it, and how much it hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And so anybody who enjoyed the Power Rangers originally, or somewhere throughout the years, will find this enjoyable, because we had talked about how, oh, it's got a little cheese to it, right? So when Min is practicing, she's like, making all the sound effect noises to herself. And I've always found that puzzling, whether it was them or anything. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, what's that helping?
I'm going to come and get you now. You're like, okay.
And so it is a little on the cheesy side, but the fact is, Power Rangers always has been that way with... it's just been that way.
Yeah.
And so even that quote unquote negative is kind of a positive, because
it's his personality.
Yes, it is the show's personality. Yeah. And I find it pleasant to it's like putting on a that oversized jacket and just feeling warm and fuzzy. It's the warm and fuzzy. That's how I feel about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Like I got a couple pages of notes, but the fact is, it's great. I mean, it's quality Power Rangers, and if you like Power Rangers, you're gonna like this.
Yeah. And we touched upon it before, and that's to me, if they just somehow got David Lee Frank.
Oh, Jason David Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's Jason? Who played Jason?
Austin St. John.
Yeah, if they got Austin St. John and Kimberly.
Amy Jo Johnson.
Yeah, Amy Jo Johnson, even for just like 2 minutes.
So you know what's crazy about her specifically. I don't know anything about what Austin's up to, but people kept getting on her case about not being in this.
Yeah, I know.
And so, she was like, some of us got families that can't just fly out to New Zealand or whatever. But another cool thing, or something that was cool that she said to all the people that were getting on her case, she was like, my time with Power Rangers isn't up. So she's writing some of the upcoming comic book stories. And so I like the fact that she's still being a part of the world.
Yeah.
And I like that all of them are being so, because like Jason David Frank wrote his own future where he and Kat have a son JJ, which is acknowledged within this show. And so that's another thing about this special is that it embraces not just the past series, but also the spin-off comics that came out. And and here's the other thing. I fully think that Jason David Frank will Tommy will get the same loving write-off that they gave to Trini. I think that he'll get that as well. And we'll be able to meet a live-action version of his son who's in the... is it SPD? Is that the name of the ranger group he's in?
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't be surprised at all if he gets a write-off in some sort of special or future iteration.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to see his live-action son possibly even team up with Min.
Right.
I think that would be nice.
Yeah. It's just the whole time it's like, damn, I really want like finality with just this group.
Sure.
Because I think for anyone, the fans of the original, I think with this core cast, and it can be 10 years from now, who knows?
Of course.
But,
how many times do we get a special? Right? This is the 30-year special, so like it's going to keep coming, I believe.
Right. And it's just, I will feel like if this group just gets finality and somehow just pass on their coins to, just to the newer generation, or just to just say that, hey, it was time to put it to rest. I just think that would be...
I do believe it's coming. I think that would be so wonderful if it did, too.
Yeah, because, if you don't know, you guys should read just about the history of Power Rangers and how little the actors really made and stuff during that time. It's a good read just on its own. You're like, wow, and the hours and stuff. So I understand why some people, some of the actors and actresses are like, hey, I got other stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Life's hard.
Yeah, but a couple of them came back for Power Rangers Turbo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're always come back periodically. But I just think that this core group, especially now, since two of them are now passed away, I just think that this core group now.
Well, it's partially why I think that he'll get his send off, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And no, I don't know if you got more to say. If you do,
anybody, especially if you're fans of Power Rangers, previously or now, give it a watch.
Absolutely.
Like, seriously.
So here's the one thing that I want to close out with, and that is the fact that this was the 30-year special of Power Rangers, and the fact that I know how hard it was to get this to America. So there have been multiple things that... have you ever seen Netflix's The Toys That Made Us?
No.
You like toys, right?
Yes, of course.
At least watch this episode, the Power Rangers episode. Heck, we might watch it after I stop recording this because it's well worth it. So, Saban, the guy who got Power Rangers to America, kept fighting and kept fighting and kept fighting because he had faith in it. And that's what I want to talk about, is the fact that a man who most people didn't believe in kept fighting, and then the thing he believed in lived on 30 years and is still going. And that's why that I haven't stopped fighting to get Everlasting Survivors to a place of success. And if you're still here, thank you. And please click the link in the description so that you can get yourself a copy of my 68-page graphic novel, Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1 all day long, because the more people that pick up a copy of Volume 1, the greater chance there is there'll be a Volume 2 and 3, and we can go back and we can tell origin stories. We can have spin-offs from characters that we meet within any and all of these stories. So that's what I really take away from this, and that's the having faith in and never stopping fighting for what you believe in. And so that's why that I love this 30-year special of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers once and always. Thank you for coming, my man. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was.
Later.
See ya.